Talk. Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. How you guys doing? Happy holidays. Today is Christmas Eve. I usually come on Sunday mornings, but today is an exception. Today, we have football, some more NFL football to talk about, and it's Christmas Eve, so it can't get any better than that. As you can see, I got my festivities ready to go. I got my Cowboys ugly Christmas sweater going. Man, I can't wait to just sit down and watch football all day today. This could not have turned out for the best. I mean, literally, Christmas Eve, and NFL football, my Cowboys playing later on. It's just a match made in heaven. So, hey, welcome everyone. Welcome everybody in, man. I'm super juiced as usual. And today is another edition of NFL Sunday Morning with me, Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, in the house. But today we're going to do it on Saturday. Why? Because most of the games are being played today. So, without further ado, I want you guys to just sit back, relax, pull up your eggnog. If you're going to be running out, in the car driving, make sure you pump me in through the car, through the Bluetooth, man. But we're going to get you guys locked and loaded for today's Christmas Eve day's game. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is NFL Sunday Morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing all right and locked in. Again, happy holidays to you all, man. It's Christmas Eve. If you got kids, they're already excited. I wish I could put them to bed right now so we can get going and wrapping some of these gifts. But nonetheless, man, I got lots to talk about today, man. As usual, it's week 16. I can't believe the season. Again, I keep saying it every week. Season keeps going by, man. Each week is exciting, but it's 1 week closer to the season ending. So it is what it is. But hey, glad you guys can join me. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, make sure you head on over to YouTube. If you're watching it on the YouTube right now, man, and you haven't subscribed, shame on you. Give me a stocking stuffer and make sure you subscribe right now if you haven't already. Also, if you haven't done so too, head on over to the Grid YouTube page and make sure you subscribe to us as well. We got tons of content creators on there that are doing their thing every week. So make sure if you haven't subscribed to that, make sure you do that too as well. But other than that, man, hey, hope all is well. Really, we got lots to talk about today. We got people already in the live chat. What's up, Barry from the All Even Podcast? Happy holidays to you, my friend, my brother. Hope you're doing all right. Let me get some of this water. But I don't know where to start. Let's start. I guess you know what? I'll start with Thursday night, right? It's officially, excuse me, it's fair to say that it's over for Zach Wilson. It's done. Him being an NFL starting quarterback in the National Football League is probably, it's going to be unlikely. He reminds me a lot of Josh Rosen when they drafted him out of UCLA. Yeah, out of UCLA when the Cardinals took him, like what number? I forgot. They took him pretty high, right? And I remember his press conference because he was like, well, I'm something stupid. He's like, 7 mistakes were made or whatever, basically alluding to all the other quarterbacks or players that were taken, excuse me, were mistakes. And this guy is not even in the league anymore. I don't think he is, right? If he is, he's on some practice team somewhere, right? He just needs to give it up and probably go join the XFL or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But Zach Wilson, and let's be real, Zach Wilson really came out of nowhere last year, and this happens every year with, in particularly quarterbacks. He had a crazy pro day, right, making some crazy deep down the field throws that realistically, should the Jets have looked into that a little bit more? Probably so. Justin Fields was arguably the number 1 quarterback or number 2 quarterback in that draft class, but somehow, some way, Zach Wilson stole the show. Zach Wilson stole the show. And now you look at him, and the guy can't play. I mean, literally, he'll be known more for hooking up with people's moms. Essentially, that's what that dude will be known for. And Zach Wilson, can he be a backup? Probably not, because typically backups are veteran guys. They're good. In the locker room, they're good. Watching film, they can help mentor some people. This guy needs a mentor himself. And honestly, If I'm a Jets fan, and it's sad because they have talent, man. The reason why they're not winning these games is because they don't have a quarterback. They just don't. And I mean, we say this every year. You know, the Broncos were this team this year, but they're one quarterback away from actually being legitimate, right? I mean, they've had a lot of success this year. We thought they would probably go 0-6 their first 6 games of the year, but they didn't. You know, they managed to hang on. But you know, nonetheless, you know, here they are. We got a comment in here. He says, Barry Grant says he cannot read defense, even the basic levels, basic reads, blitz, pickup. And yeah, he has no pocket awareness. He's just out there playing. Now, the guy is talented. He has a talented arm. But what people don't understand about the quarterback position, and I think a lot of people forget about this, it's a very cerebral type of position. Like, you can't be a dummy and play quarterback. It just doesn't go hand in hand. I don't care if you got a cannon of an arm. You know, I don't care how fast you can run. I don't. For me, in regards to quarterbacking, I don't care about that stuff. One thing I do care about is that, can you read defense? Are you smart? Right? Obviously, this guy is not smart enough from a football intellectual standpoint, right? You know, and then the other thing you gotta be a great leader. Quarterback is honestly one of those positions. It's like playing shortstop for the Yankees, right? Or something like that. Like, you're a de facto captain of the team, whether you want to or not. And so what I like to tell young quarterbacks that I coach is that whether you think you're a leader or not, people are going to look to you anyway as being the leader. You know, it's almost like being a dad or a father, right? Maybe some guys aren't really well equipped to be dads, but they don't really realize that whether they believe it or not, they are the leaders in their household, or they're the leaders or mentors for their children, whether they acknowledge that or not. And it takes a lot to be a father, for those fathers out there. Shout out to you guys, or even a parent, just in general. And back to quarterbacks and Zach Wilson, the guy, he wowed people in that pro day. He just wowed them, and they lost sight of, well, the guy hadn't really played a lot. And I'm not going to say because he went to BYU he can't play the position, because we got tons of quarterbacks that came from smaller schools, or they're not the big time schools, right? And can play in this league. I mean, literally. I'm just looking at list. I'm just rattle off some teams here that are winning, right? I mean, let's see here. Let's start with the Cowboys, right? Dak Prescott, Mississippi State, right? Not a known powerhouse for quarterback play, right? Of course. Geno Smith, he's kind of resurrected himself a little bit. There's a bunch of other teams that I'm looking at a list here real quick. Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins, right? Michigan State. So you can play the game, or you can come from a smaller school, or maybe not such a big time school, and still play the position. We've seen that in the past. So just because you went to USC or Oklahoma doesn't automatically mean that you're going to work out. I mean, you look at Baker Mayfield, you look at what's happened to Kyler Murray. These guys are Heisman winners, right? And nothing has happened for them. Kyler Murray had a little bit of juice going. Now we're looking at him like, it may not work out for him, right? But anyway, as far as the Jets are concerned, if you're waking up as a Jets fan, you're probably wondering, man, if we just had a quarterback. I mean, literally, Zach Wilson was taken number 2 overall. Is that right? Is that a fair? I think he was taken number 2 overall, and Mike White is more popular in that Jets organization than Zach Wilson is. So I think it's time. And honestly, I think it's time to move off the head coach too. He nice guy, probably a great defensive coordinator, right? The defense is good, but I don't think he gets it either, right? He came into a press conference Thursday night and was like, well, he's getting better. What? Or no, better yet, he said they have to do more. They got to call better plays. They got to execute. And it's kind of like, nah, Zach Wilson's the problem. But this team is super talented, man. And